Welcome, Northwest Preppers here. It's our first video. Today we're just going to kind of kick off with something basic. The IFAKs, what we have here, Individual First Aid Kit, is what that stands for. We're just a couple of guys that want to spread knowledge, I guess. Just the knowledge that it doesn't matter who you are or what you're professional, have to have a background in trying to prep for this stuff.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, everyone spends hundreds and thousands of dollars on guns and stereo systems and whatever your hobby is. I mean, but the truth of it is that everyone usually is in a vehicle or a train or some sort of subway system, whether it's in the Northwest where we live, obviously Pacific Northwest, New York, you're mobile where you could get in an accident, okay, slip, fall, or you know, your family, heaven forbid. But you want to be able to do what you can to save your life or potentially save somebody else's life. Right. And that's why I carry this stuff. I carry this with me every day. It goes in the car, right in the center console. When we get into vehicle EDC stuff, you guys I'll show you my exact setup in a future video. Hope you guys stick around and check those out. All right, so this is my IFAK trauma kit, to be more specific. This bag itself is a Tactical Tailor med pouch. It's made to ride on a belt. However, there's MOLLE strapping here. You can use malice clips. These are just the proprietary clips that come from Tactical Tailor themselves. Comes with the bag. The bag was around $30 or so. I've got this set up to go on a belt. It on the front does have Velcro. Obviously, you can put a patch here, your med patch or whatever you want to label it. It has this quick release here. It's Velcroed up top here with this large pull for your gross motor skills. Just go ahead and grab it and it'll clamshell open. It's got two zippers on either side here. And then
I'm going to cut in. So gross motor skills. So in case you are limited on your mobility, as far as like if you get shot.
Got a heavy bleed and you're losing your function.
Like
you want something nice and big.
With your teeth even.
If I could change this, I would make this red just so that you don't get it confused with all this black and whatever you're wearing or not. But it does clamshell on open. All right, so in here, like I said, trauma kit. This isn't a boo-boo kit. This isn't for a Band-Aid for the kid because they scraped their toe on a barnacle while you're looking for crabs. Here we've got some H&H compressed gauze, okay? You can have rolled gauze, you can have 4x4s, 3x3s, 2x2s, and you know, pick your poison. I mean, have some gauze in there that you can throw on a wound that's, you know, in the armpits, in the groin area, you know, somewhere where you can't put a tourniquet. Okay, I'm carrying North American Rescue cat tourniquets. Okay,
great product.
These are awesome. I have training in these. I haven't used these actually in the field. However, I do train with them. Now, if you're going to train with them, because there's an elastic band in here, do not train with the one that you're actually going to use. Mark training on it. That's what I've done. So you can refresh your skills without having to worry about if that band in there is going to snap should you actually need to use it in a real world situation. Right. My philosophy is 1 is none, 2 is 1, okay? That's why I have 2. I've heard that sometimes, you know, you go to throw it high on a leg, you've got a gunshot wound or a penetrating wound to a leg, you throw it high and tight and it just doesn't get quite tight enough, so you would throw on a second tourniquet. I've also got a trauma emergency bandage, a trauma dressing, 6-inch version. You can get a 4-inch version. They're running between $6 and $8 on Amazon, okay? We've got a OPA, oral pharyngeal airway. You know, I got to tell you a quick story. We were coming home from camping last year, coming down Tiger Mountain Summit. Traffic comes to a halt. We see a semi-truck swerve like 5 cars ahead of us. He's coming eastbound, we're heading westbound. It's 1 lane each way, 60 miles an hour. A minivan with 1 single occupant, older gentleman, I'm going to guess to say between 65 and 70 years old, was going westbound. He hit a semi-truck near head-on. We stopped the car. I grab my kit, go running down to him. He is having difficulties breathing. He is unconscious. The point of this kit, guys, is to have it when you need it, okay? There were 2 people on scene once I got there that had far more training than I. One was a paramedic with the local fire department here in Pierce County, and one was a ski patrol. The ski patrol guy was stabilizing his neck in the back, okay? They didn't even have gloves. I supplied them gloves as well as myself. I used some shears that are not in this kit but a different kit. We were able to cut his shirt to see if he had any penetrating chest wounds, anything like that, because you want to do an assessment.
Right?
The paramedic didn't have anything. We were able to slip an OPA into his mouth to establish an airway. Once we established that airway, you could hear him breathing a whole lot better. He was taking deeper breaths, okay? We were just heading home, and we were able to effect rescue and to help this guy, I say in a small way.
Right. And in this case, you don't know whether it was your actions or not, if it was other means, but like even something simple like this, that you're applying that, I mean, that could have been the difference between life and death for somebody. But,
yeah.
And that's our whole point that we're trying to do. It was just camping. I mean, it was just a trip. It was a family trip, and you were just coming home. I mean, you just... Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Something like this, they're so cheap on Amazon. You can get the whole range of sizes from infant all the way up to big adult for like $10 or less on Amazon. Right. I mean, guys, they're nothing. They're cheap, and they're going to save someone's life. Now, here is the Celox granules. This is the 35-gram bag. Okay, this stuff's kind of expensive, but what's $40 when you could save your life, your family's life, or a stranger's life? That's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket. Okay. There is Quick Clot out there. I just went with this because I heard that this doesn't burn like Quick Clot does. Now, I have never used this, so I don't know. So I went with this. If you can help somebody and have it not burn their skin, and let's worry about tissue damage later. Obviously, we want to stop the bleed and make sure they don't bleed out on us.
Well, as a kid, making it more comfortable for them as well.
Sure,
Less burning, the better, right? So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So with this, you don't want to just see a penetrating wound and go ahead and dump this in, because it's going to be ineffective. Okay. We're going to want to get some gauze, a 4x4. I would probably use 4x4s because I'm going to use this to get inside that wound cavity after I put this in there. Let's go ahead and use a t-shirt, bandana, whatever you've got. You need to find out where that bleed's coming from, okay? So scrape away that blood and debris or whatever's in there, tissue, so you can find the bleed. Get this on there to coagulate that blood. And then we're going to go ahead and apply the gauze to the wound.
That, right.
This goes in the car in the center console, and this comes out with me every day. If the neighbor slips with his chainsaw, hits his leg, I don't want to go rummage through my room over here to get the keys to get in the car. You have this available when you need it. Okay, it's just like your gun, right? We all want to carry guns every day and spend $600 on a brand new Glock, and not $25 to $40 on a tourniquet to stop that. I'm a firm believer, if you're carrying a gun, you should carry at least this.
Right, something simple. Because, and who's to say? And the worst case scenario, that's what we try to approach. The worst, prepare for the worst, hope for the best. Who's to say that your gun is going to be used against you? So having something basic like this is almost essential in even owning a weapon. So, yeah, and that's the other point you were saying, is that having this stuff with you all the time, even if it is just at home, is that this is everyday stuff that we're just trying to push, but it's prepping as a whole. Not just for when the power goes out or when there's a huge earthquake and there's no help and no hospitals around. So from the little to the big. So that's what we're trying to cover. And this can be played out in every scenario.
Absolutely. So. And even if it doesn't, it brings me a little more comfort to know that I've got these things riding in the car with us, especially when we're with the family and we're going camping, we're towing a trailer. It is a horrible feeling for me personally. If we're out in someone else's car and I don't have any of this, I just feel like, oh my gosh, the green gorilla comes out and here comes the what ifs. I'm underprepared. And I try to make up little kits like this that I can bring with me. I can throw it on the floorboard. I can put it in the trunk. We're not in a place ever where we're, miles and miles and miles away from our vehicles. Right. Okay. And when we are, this is coming with me.
Right. And me personally, I don't have the small pack. I essentially have items that are all in a bigger pack. But again, I carry that pack everywhere I go, to and from work, at home. It's always with me. So you don't have to limit yourself or think that you have to spend the extra $30 or $40 on a molly bag.
Get yourself a thick, freezer bag, a Ziploc style bag.
Anything.
Throw that in a gallon Ziploc bag, and you got it with you. Yeah. Be smart about it. Make good decisions, and just it doesn't have to be all this expensive gear. However, there are knockoffs of these tourniquets out there, and you can tell. You can tell the difference between a knockoff. They're Chinese made knockoffs that Could it save your life? Could it work? Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not going to put
yeah.
my child in one of these and pray that it works. I
Right.
want to throw a North American Rescue Cat tourniquet on there and know that it's going to work.
Right. You know the banding's going to be good. You know the Velcro's going to be good. They stand by their product. My rule of thumb is if anything that's actually a life-saving mechanism, such as a tourniquet, I'm going to spend the extra money on it. Anything that isn't, like gauze, things like that, Band-Aids, things, I go on the cheaper end with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, the training that I did, this is what they trained us on, was the North American Rescue Cat tourniquets. Mm-hmm. There's rats tourniquets out there. I've got a buddy that carries a rats tourniquet. I don't know. I don't own one. You know, I think they're around $10. There's the SWAT T tourniquets or the SWAT T wide tourniquets. There's a lot of tourniquets out there.
Ones, right.
Just make sure that they're not knockoffs of that brand. You know, look at the packaging. Look at, you know, do your due diligence, guys, because you could save yourself, your loved ones, your wife, whomever. I mean, even a perfect stranger. I mean, I don't want to throw this on and then not save the person's life.
We will have these items linked below, at least the ones that we have gotten through either Amazon or the North American Rescue, Tactical Tailor. We'll put those links of all the items below. That way you guys can check them out for yourself. Please
give us your comments. Let us know what you take away from this, what you like, what you don't like. Please tell us what you'd add, and give us a like and a share.